All right, welcome to today's class on listings and landing pages with KW Command. My name is Leah with Scott Leroy Marketing. In today's class, I'm going to take you through the different landing pages that are most popularly used in KW Command. So if you're not familiar with landing pages, that is going to be like a standalone website for you to capture leads. And I'll of course explain that more in detail and show you it firsthand. But I am going to take you through three main landing pages in today's class: a neighborhood landing page, a listing landing page, right? So you can promote your listing or even sold listings, and also a open house sign-in sheet. So I'll be showing you those three, how to create those and start marketing them right away. So let's go ahead and log into Command. So where I'm doing this is on agent.kw.com. If you are not already logged into Command, that is agent.kw.com. And I always remember that like it's the agent login for kw.com, which helps me remember that. It's a great thing to bookmark if you have not already. And we'll go ahead and sign in. Now, I know you have about 5 million passwords for everything, so if you're having trouble signing in, feel free to click Forgot Password. Just in case it helps, your password does require an uppercase letter, a lowercase letter, and a number. If you have any trouble resetting your password too, feel free to shoot us an email, support@scottleroymarketing.com. We'd be more than happy to help you with that. Okay, so real quick before we start creating our first landing page, we need to make sure that our marketing profile is all up to date so you can see where all of your contact information will pull from anything or from with anything you create in the system. So landing pages, your website, mobile app, and so forth. Let me show you where all your contact information pulls from. So if you could follow me to click on your name on the very top right of Command. Your name on the top right of Command. We're going to click on Settings from that drop down. All right, so our name on the top right of Command and then Settings. And it logged me out. Hang on one sec, guys. All right, and then on the left-hand side menu, so this left-hand side menu where you'll see my mouse, we actually want to select the Connect settings for access to our marketing profile. Now you'll want to jot down notes on how you got here just in case you ever change your headshot, get a new logo, your phone number, website address, any contact information, all is centralized now in Command right here. So when you're creating landing pages, your website, your mobile apps, smart plans, designs, templates, all that contact info pulls right from here. So you can see how important this is. So let me tell you real quick the 4 steps to get here. Step 1. Your name on the top right. Step 2, settings. Step 3, connect settings on the left side. And our 4th and final step is selecting the marketing profile. Now, if we start scrolling down, you'll see all the different contact information that pulls from here. If this is blank for you, first of all, we're happy to do this for you. So if this is blank, and you would like us to set up your website for you and your mobile app, I am putting a link in the chat for a short form for you to fill out, scottleroymarketing.com/command. So if you're watching this class recorded, you can just type that in your address bar. scottleroymarketing.com/command will take you to a form to fill out, and it'll prompt us to set this up for you if you need that help. All right, if you're looking over this, please make sure you have any fields with the red star or marked required filled out, or it will not allow you to save it. All right, so your headshot does have to be, you'll see the sizing here. It needs to be under 1 megabyte. And we are more than happy to add all of this in for you. So if you have any trouble with that, please just let us know and we can help you. So just go ahead and scroll down. I'd really just like you to overview, kind of look through your information, make sure it's set up, note anything you want to come back in here and complete, like adding your social profiles, Google Analytics or Pixel IDs and so forth. And these are all things that we're happy to help you guys with. So, you know, you want your Facebook Pixel ID set up or Google Analytics set up, feel free to email us, support@scottleroymarketing.com, and we can get that set up for you. If you made any changes, please make sure to click Save on the very bottom. Just keep in mind it won't let you save it if you don't have a required field filled in, or you know, if your headshot's not there, it won't let you save it at all. So you can always make a note to come back in here so you can complete this up if need be. I know that wasn't enough time to finish that profile. But just so you know, that is where all your landing page information will pull from. Okay, so now that we know where that contact info pulls from, let's go ahead and create our first landing page. And the first landing page I'm going to show you is going to be for the purpose of intriguing long-term buyers. So what I mean by that is, let's say you run into a buyer who is looking to maybe buy in the next year, right? Nothing immediate, you know, they're interested in eventually maybe downsizing, whatever the case may be, right? You can get an idea of which neighborhoods they're interested in moving into to set them up on a neighborhood landing page to start piquing their interest and maybe entice them to buy sooner. So let me show you exactly what I mean by that. So if you'd like to follow me along to create this, we'll need to start in the contact section. So on the very far left side of command, you'll see this contacts icon right here. Okay, the second icon down, and that's what we want to go ahead and select. Now, just a heads up with this command menu, my little spiel for this is if you click on the KW on the logo on the top left, it'll pan out what this menu is so you can get a hang of the navigation around command. Right, my little spiel on command and how to best learn it is, guys, just literally go down this list and click on things, see what you have access to, see what you have the opportunity to implement into your business so you can see what you can learn further about. I know it's really overwhelming to learn new technology. I try to convince myself to just, you know, kick back, relax, and have fun with it, but even still my blood pressure rises. You know, so if you're feeling something similar, try to just sit back, grab a glass of wine, and go through this list, see what you have opportunities to learn further on. And we have short 10-minute videos to help further your knowledge on that. And we're here for questions and to guide you on that. So play around with command just by going down this menu. That's personally how I learned it myself. Okay. So where we are is this contacts icon. And if you do not already have a contact in your database, let's just quickly throw a test contact in here by clicking Add Contact on the top right. If you have a test contact in your account, you can go ahead and search for that. But I'm just going to add a test contact real quick. And it's really great to have a test contact in your account so you can practice sending things to yourself before it goes to your entire database and so forth. So for the you know, your name for your test contact, you can name it test or practice contact, your spouse's name, whatever you'd like to name it. I put in Ron Swanson for any Parks and Recs fans. And for the email, this actually I would recommend putting in a personal email that you have, maybe one that's outside of the KW system. Again, really beneficial to have a test contact so you can practice sending something to yourself before, you know, messing it up potentially to your whole database. Let's practice on ourselves, please, first. And we've all been there. So let's go ahead and add in maybe a personal email that you have, and we'll click on Create on the very bottom. So really, we just need a practice contact name, personal email address that you might have, and let's click Create. All right, so from here, we do always have to search for that contact's name to pull that back up once you've added it, because it always goes to the top of your database, just a heads up. So if you just added in a new contact, make sure you're using the search bar on the top left to pull that up. And then go ahead and click on the contact's name to open that. All right, so from here, all right, what we're going to do, what I'm showing you now is a neighborhood landing page. So in this example, right, this is a long-term buyer that maybe I met at the grocery store. I was standing 6 feet away, of course, in line. They noticed my name badge that I was wearing, like the good realtor I am, and they started asking me questions about the market. So I come to find out that Ron Swanson and his wife, Tammy, are looking to buy in about a year. Okay, so they told me some neighborhoods that they might be interested in. So at this point, I put them in my contact database, and I'm going to add some neighborhoods to their contact record to start setting them up on this landing page where they can see new homes in the neighborhood that they are interested in. Let's take a look. It's a really cool feature in Command. All right, so make sure you open the contact in Command. You might have to scroll down slightly, but we're going down to the neighborhood section and clicking Add Neighborhood. When you click Add Neighborhood, your browser might creepily ask you to know your location. For now, I would recommend clicking Allow. It tends to help the map search for you. Okay, and you'll see what I mean in just a moment here. So once I go ahead and click to add the neighborhood, I can start searching in the search box right here. All right, so this search box right here, you can go ahead and start typing in maybe one of the addresses, or I'm sorry, one of the neighborhoods that they indicated they were interested in. Now, once I select one of those neighborhoods from the list, so you can see right when I start typing that in, it'll give me some suggestions here. And as soon as I click on that suggested neighborhood, it'll add the neighborhood right underneath, and I can always X out any neighborhoods I didn't mean to add. There are two other ways that you can add neighborhoods in. So of course, you can keep searching to your heart's content to keep pulling up neighborhoods. So that's one way. Second way is we can click on any of these suggested neighborhoods, which are neighborhoods that are nearby. So let's say I'll select some of these as well. All right, and the third and final way to search for neighborhoods is especially helpful if you are not finding the neighborhood when you're searching in the search bar. All right, so there's a map option as well. Now these neighborhoods pull from the Nextdoor app, Nextdoor. So these neighborhoods are not changeable for you. So if you are not finding one pull up or you feel like a neighborhood name is wrong, my understanding of how those neighborhood names are decided or deemed is by residents in the neighborhood confirming what that neighborhood name is and the geographic location and so forth. So you don't have the ability to change that, so anything about these neighborhoods. So let me just show you the best workarounds to find your neighborhoods you're looking for. So right here where it says Find on Map, let's go ahead and click that option. All right, and if you let your browser know your location, it should just have this little dot where your general location is. But you can use the search bar on the top left. I would actually always recommend it, even if it knows your location. Just search for a general neighborhood close by to where you're looking for. If you select one first from the search bar on the top left, it'll zoom you in majorly to your general area. So again, when you're using this map option on the top left, it makes your life way easier to search first, even if it's not the exact neighborhood, a neighborhood close by to zoom in. Then I can use this plus and minus sign on the bottom right here to zoom in and out. And you'll notice the closer I zoom in, the more I see these little, I call them puzzle pieces, okay? Little puzzle pieces of the different neighborhoods. So if I hover my mouse on any of these quote unquote puzzle pieces, I can see the neighborhood name and click on that from the selected map here, okay? So I can keep doing that. Now, with that being said, if you're having trouble finding a neighborhood, right, if the neighborhood name is not pulling up, I would recommend looking at it on a map and seeing how it's labeled on here. So as you guys probably know, the term neighborhood is used a little different depending on where you are. For example, neighborhoods here more mean like residential homes altogether versus a neighborhood in Chicago more means like a general area. So, because of that, zoom in, see if, for example, right, Ballantyne right here, that is not the name of a residential neighborhood, that is the name of an area. So see if the map has the neighborhood grouped into kind of a larger location, because you might have to select that way, just a heads up. Okay. So we can go ahead and select any of the neighborhoods, and you can see that added in right here, and we can save it. And now we can see what all our hard work did. Okay, so we have those neighborhoods now added in. So let's take a look at what we just did by all that quote unquote hard work. All right, so on the bottom right of this map, right, so we have these neighborhoods added. We see a map and then a preview option on the bottom right of that little map. Let's go ahead and click on that preview option. And that will pull up this neighborhood landing page that we created for our client. And let's take a look at this awesome tool that we have created for that client. All right, so right here, first of all, at the top, they have the option to search through homes. Okay, like a general tool that a real estate agent might provide for their client, right? They can search for homes in the neighborhoods that we have allocated here. They can add further neighborhoods on the left-hand side. They can draw on the map, they can filter their search further, and they can sort it. Now, this time in the class is usually when I get the question, how do I as the agent, give them a specific beds and baths and maybe a city or square footage, price range, set more criteria than just the neighborhood. Okay, and hold tight to that question. It's a great one. Okay, it's just not this tool directly. There are saved searches that I'll show you next that are more for your hot buyers, right? Buyers that are more looking to buy or sell now. The reason this tool is so great though, let me give you an example of this. For a long-term buyer who said, yeah, I'm not looking to buy or sell in the next year. Well, you start sending them this neighborhood landing page, which I'll tell you next how to distribute it. But we start sending our clients this maybe twice a month. Okay, and they start looking in the neighborhoods they're interested in. Oh, well, how about this? One of them, let's say the wife sees a house that she absolutely falls in love with. Now they have to go see that house right now. And guess what? They're suddenly looking at buying now instead of in a year from now because they saw a listing that they fell in love with just because you're casually shooting them these listings in neighborhoods that they're generally interested in, and you can set that up like no pressure to buy anytime soon, just to give you an idea of where the price point is and the square footage and facts about the neighborhoods, which I'll show you next. This is a great tool for you to look at. And I love, 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 love the avenue of, making them feel not pressured, right? So this is a great way to do that. And so let me show you too, outside of just searching for homes, right? Filtering and favoriting the homes. And just a heads up, any homes they favorite here will appear in their contact record on the timeline. I'm gonna say that again. Any homes that they favorite on this landing page that they send you, so by clicking that heart here, that will show up in the timeline of their contact record. I'm gonna switch tabs to show you guys right here. Okay. That's where you'll see any favorited properties in the timeline of the contact record. Now this is just in a different tab, so I don't want to confuse anyone, but I'm switching between tabs. I just have the landing page and my command account open in 2 tabs, so that's why I was able to switch real quick. But now I'm back to the landing page, and I'm going to show you real quick, outside of it just being a great neighborhood search, like this is great and all, but it's pretty, it's pretty standard. Let's take a look at the neighborhood stats, which I feel like sets this tool a step above and beyond. So on the top right, I clicked on neighborhood stats, if you'd like to join me. If anyone is having like a no image available icon here, this should only show up if you are on a team. However, if you're not on a team and that's showing no image available, I've been seeing emails on that. So shoot us an email. Catherine, if you could shoot us an email about this, including a screenshot would be helpful as well. And shooting your command, login, and password to support@scottleroymarketing.com. We'd be happy to troubleshoot that to see how we can fix that up. I think that might be something going on. I've seen that. All right, so this is the neighborhood stats here. And again, this is what I was saying, I think sets this tool a step above and beyond and creates value for your selling clients as well, to give them kind of like a live CMA. And I'll talk more about that as well. But this is not just a tool for your buyers. Let's say you have a client who is listing their home and they want to see kind of a live CMA. other homes that are going on the market in the neighborhood and the sold stats. Right here we have, you know, average home price, price per square foot, days on market, how many are for sale and pending. I see current stats and sold stats here. And the question I usually get at this time is, hey, how do I edit this info? And again, you cannot. This pulls from the Nextdoor app, so you're not able to edit this information, just a heads up. So this landing page is not overly customizable, but you don't have to do a whole lot of work, and you get this beautiful landing page. Okay. So further features here, we have transit and commute. I love this for out of town clients, especially, you know, let's say they're moving to a neighborhood and they want to know how close it's going to be to their new job. So we'll do Bank of America Stadium for any Panthers fans. Okay, and I can now see it's a 21-minute drive. This syncs with Google Maps, so I can get directions right here to my job right away. You'll see nearby schools on the bottom, places, you know, nearby dining, restaurants, grocery, also great for out-of-town clients who don't know the area. This syncs with Yelp, as you can see. And finally, you'll see your contact information on the bottom. Okay, so that is what an overview of this neighborhood landing page. So let's talk about the next logical question, and that's how do I distribute this landing page to my clients? There's two main ways. So first of all, you can do that manually. So I'm going back over to my command contacts. You should have a separate tab still open that says command contacts. If you'd like to look for that. Now, distributing this landing page can be done in two different ways. So you can do that manually. You can do that manually by just sending them a one-off email. So let's say you've been talking to them today, you let them know you're going to create this great neighborhood landing page. You just want to shoot that over to them. You can open up their contact record and just click copy link on the bottom left. Copy link. If you were to click on their contact record, it would open up your Gmail account. You have that link to command. So let's say I have my client here. I could just shoot him an email now and say, hi, great talking to you. Here is the personalized neighborhood landing page I created for you and Tammy to search homes and see stats, you know, whatever you'd like to say. And then we can paste that in, right? So we can right click and paste that in. And this would give them a link to that neighborhood landing page that you created for them. And they think, wow, my agent is the best. They went through all that trouble to create a personalized website so I can look for homes. Wow, talk about attention to detail from my realtor, right? Creating value for them. And really, we just added in some neighborhoods that took like, I don't know, 2 minutes. But just a heads up, this link is always live. So if they bookmark that link, it will always show them the newest live listings. Okay, so that will always show the newest listings. So that's one way to distribute your neighborhood landing page, and that's manually. Okay, that's manually from by clicking on copy link here. And if I lost anyone on how I'm in the contact record, okay, I am in my command database. So I'm logged into agent.kw.com. I'm in my command database under contacts. On the left side menu, you can search for your contact on the menu and then click on their name to open that. Okay, so that was the one way we talked about distributing that landing page, was just copying the link and going to your email and sending that out. So that's one way to do it, but let's talk about a more automated way for you to do it in bulk. So there are smart plans that you can do. They're called the monthly neighborhood nurture smart plan and the biweekly neighborhood nurture smart plan. I have a class on smart plans, and I also brought the link to send you guys for that. I have a short 10-minute tip video I am putting in the chat, Zoom chat. If you want to just grab this for after, I think it would be beneficial for you guys. It's called MNN for monthly neighborhood nurture, and let me show you what that's going to go over. And so that's going to set up an automated way to send out, to email out that neighborhood landing page that we just took a look at. all right? So if you set your clients up on a smart plan for a bi-weekly or a monthly neighborhood nurture, it would send your clients that neighborhood landing page either once a month or twice a month, okay, whichever one you select. And again, enticing them to maybe buy or sell sooner. And you can view those smart plans if you just want to watch on my screen, because I'm going to come right back to this contact record. But if you want to watch on my screen, I click on smart plans just to give you an idea. It's the fourth icon down here, looks like a to-do list with a settings gear. And then you can add those from the library at the top. Of course, this isn't what this class is on, but you'll see the bi-weekly neighborhood nurture here and the monthly neighborhood nurture. Those are the two smart plans that would automate the sending of those neighborhood landing pages. And again, that 10-minute tip video that I sent out to you guys in the Zoom chat, save that for later, and that'll walk you through, you know, adding the smart plan and adding your contacts to it, because there are some things you'll want to know for that. All right, guys. So that is a great way to start distributing those neighborhood landing pages to start enticing your long-term buyers to buy now, right? So I'm going back to the contact record to just show you guys one last thing before we move on to listing landing pages. So I just want to answer the question, okay, that is a cool resource for my long-term buyers, but what about my hot buyers? What if I have a buyer who knows what, you know, they want to search by city, you know, a max and minimum price, a square footage, beds, baths, so forth, the whole 9 yards. So in that case, if you have a hot buyer, right, in that case, you'll want to use the save search option. So the save searches option is very similar to probably what you're used to in the MLS, where you can go ahead and create a save search that you can put in normal items like city, right, zip code, beds, baths, and so forth. You can set the frequency that goes out to them, etc. Your clients can also set up save searches on their website directly. Yeah, great questions in the Zoom chat, Veronica and Terrell, you're spot on. So the question was, what is the difference between the smart plan and landing pages? And that's a great question. And I'll be showing you more in just a second here what a landing page is. This bridges us nicely, actually. So a landing page, okay, is going to be a standalone website that will help you capture leads. Some people call it a lead funnel. I've seen it called a squeeze page. The idea is like to squeeze the contact information out of people in return for something of value, though. That's the big part. So, right, people don't want to give over their contact information. They want something of value if they're going to give their contact info, because I do not want a realtor, you know, filling up my inbox with all the spam email, right? So people guard their giving of their contact info. So that's where we're creating a landing page to offer something of value in return for their contact info. So for example, that might be a 10% off coupon at Lowe's. That might be a quote unquote private showing at a listing they're interested in. You know, hey, fill out this form and I'd be happy to give you a private showing. Fill out this form and I'll create a free CMA for you on your home, right? You're getting their contact info for something of value. That's the concept of a landing page versus a smart plan, which again, that is this section of Command, and we're not focusing on that today because that's not what this class is on. But what a smart plan is in Command is a way to, oh, wrong section, but a way to automate your systems. So a smart plan is a way that, or is a system that will automate your listing checklists. It'll automate emails that are sent out. It can automate bulk text messages to your entire database, and automate checklist items to pop up, right? So that's what the landing pages are. That's what the smart plans are, and they're a really great tool. So I would check out the link I sent in the chat to learn more about smart plans. And please just let me know if you have any questions. I'm happy to help. But let's go ahead and stay focused on landing pages. So if you could follow me on down to the very bottom icon in Command, the consumer icon, I'm going to now show you how to create a listing, like a just listed or a just sold landing page to help promote your listing. All right, so to do that, we are clicking on the very bottom icon on the left-hand side menu in Command. It's called the consumer icon. And if you have nothing, if this is blank, it's supposed to be. If you haven't messed with landing pages before, I've just been playing with them, so these are my drafts. All right, so in this case, so again, left-hand side, we're at the very bottom icon, the consumer icon. And now we're clicking create a new site on the very top right. Create a new site on the top right. And we have two options here. So from this method, we can either create a custom page on our KW command agent website, or we can create a standalone page. And that's what we're doing in today's class. These landing pages, squeeze pages, those are standalone pages to help with your marketing. I'm going to select that and click to create the page. Make sure you're selecting that bottom option as a standalone page and clicking create page. And that will pull you on over to the landing page editing screen, where we see a big white page of nothingness. So first of all, let's direct our attention to the right-hand side where we see all these widgets. These widgets are our best friend and make our life so much easier when editing and creating these landing pages because they really do most of the work for you. So let's grab a couple so you guys can see what you have the ability to work with. So to start off, I'm going to grab the branded header. So in order to add a widget to your blank page here, all we need to do is click, hold your mouse, and drag it to the blank page on the left, to then let go of your mouse to drop it. And if you see any information on that header that you just dropped, don't worry about it. We're going to have the ability to edit this information. That is pulling from your command marketing profile. So all I did was branded header. I clicked and held my mouse to drag that over and dropped it. So now I want to promote, let's say, a new listing. And now this same concept will apply if you are doing, let's say, a just sold page. Maybe you want to promote that you sold a listing in 10 days. Or, you know, a just listed, you want to impress your listing clients by creating their own personalized website that you can put on your listing signs in the yard, right? The yard signs. All right, let's take a look at that. All right, so how we go ahead and add in the listing widget. This widget is great. So the listing widget, let's go ahead and click that and drag our mouse. So something to point out though, when I'm dropping my widgets, you can see that green line that appears when I pull that over to the white screen here. If I hover, move that widget up and down, you can see that it would place, this widget above the previous widget or below it. So just a heads up, that's how you can control where you're laying the widget. And when you drop it, it will show a default listing. I know this is not your listing, right? But don't worry, we're about to configure your widgets in a second where we edit that. Okay, so these aren't edited yet, but I'm going to show you how to personalize this in just a second. Right now, we're just creating kind of the template of the landing page, if you will. So now if I scroll down, let's say I want to add a few more widgets in here. Yeah, just a heads up, guys, this class is being recorded and can be found on slmtraining.com. I should have that up in a couple hours after class, slmtraining.com. I just put that in the chat. All right, so on the left-hand side here, let's say I want to add a couple different widgets. And guys, while you're practicing with this, I mean, I'd go widget happy, see which widgets you like and test them out. I think I have you guys muted. I don't. Okay. So on the right-hand side, let's say we want to also add a video widget, maybe of the virtual tour. You don't have to add it if you don't want to, but I'm going to show you that one because I think it's cool. It's a newer widget. So let's say I want to add the virtual tour here as well, okay? You can add any of the other ones. Let's say if you want to add like a market snap. And you're not really supposed to know what these widgets mean. That's why I would always suggest, clicking on it, drag it over and see what it does, right? How are you going to know if you want to utilize this widget if you don't practice with it, throw it on. You can always delete widgets. Right? So let's say, all right, I added it, I gave it a go, but I'm unimpressed. All right, I can always delete it by clicking on it, click on the widget, and I can tell it's selected because it's outlined in blue. And then I can simply click on the trash can icon on the top right to delete that widget right away. I'm going to leave this one. So this is the market snap. That's going to give neighborhood information. That's a good one to add to the listing landing page, right? Now, I would always recommend adding a lead form on the bottom of every, it doesn't even have to be the bottom, you can move it up, right? So the lead form is like the capture form, the lead capture form. That's not on there automatically, so you always want to make sure you're adding in the lead form. You're taking notes on today's class, that would be a noteworthy moment. Always add in the lead form so that they can contact you from your landing page, right? That's always important. You can either put it on the bottom, or if I want to move that up, let's say, I can always click on the widget to click on the arrow. The idea is to move it above, but I'm not sure if it will. All right, but in theory, you can move those around. It gets a little spotty though, so be careful with that. All right, but you can click and use the arrows to move that around. But you can see it gets a little spotty. All right. All right, so you guys, now that we have that created, now that we have those widgets added, right? So we can add in whichever widgets we want on the right-hand side, right? And then once we do that, we have to click configure widgets, okay? But before I do that, a couple things to point out, right? You can see that the publish page icon is grayed out. Okay, it will not let you publish the page until after you configure the widgets. So one thing to note. Second thing to note before we configure those is you can also add in content blocks. So these widgets are great because you can see it does all the formatting for you. But if you want to add in content blocks, the main two in here right now is, you know, if you want to add an extra image or add an extra text box to add more, you know, text about the listing, you can go ahead and do that right away. Okay, same concept, drag and drop. So we have widgets and content blocks on the right-hand side, just a heads up. And now we can click configure widgets. Okay, so we have to click configure widgets on the bottom right in order to save the page or publish it. Now, when I click configure widgets, just to make sure everyone saw that, that was on the bottom right here where my mouse is. It had a button that said configure widgets. When I do that, it'll probably take you into whichever widget you are clicked on. But I'm going to click on, so you can see on this right-hand side, this is configuring my widgets. I can see which widget I'm currently on, and I can see it's the 4th out of the 5 widgets on here. So I'm going to click on this little back arrow to the left of the widget name, so I can go back to show you the list of all of my widgets, along with this green check mark here. Okay, the green check mark indicates those widgets are good to go to be published, and we need to go ahead and configure the 2 that don't have that green check mark. However, I would always go through all of them, even if it's checked. So I'm going to start with the branded header, for example. So enter header name. So if you want to put, you know, sold in 10 days, or, you know, proudly presenting 123 Main Street. Okay, I'm going to pretend like I am doing a just listed landing page. But you could also write in there, you know, just sold in 10 days. Okay, you can scroll on through, make sure all of your contact information is correct, and click Save and Apply. All right, you'll see when you click Save and Apply, it updates it right away. So if you're not feeling the header text you put in, feel free to change that right away and click Save and Apply, and you can update that. So now that that's done, so again, remember the widget name is at the top and the number widget that you're on. So I'm on 1 of 5. So I'm going to click the next button to go to the next widget, which is this listing widget. All right, so we can now pull our listing in from the KWLS 2.0. So where it says Browse Listings on the right-hand side, Browse Listings. That will search all listings in the KWLS 2.0. And we're going to talk more about how listings get into your command account. But as long as your listing is live in the MLS, within 24 hours, if not sooner, it should be in your command account to be able to create a landing page like this from. So from here, so when we're creating, I'm selecting the listing. I have the search bar at the top. I can search by the property address, MLS number, so forth. You can search as needed. For now, I'm just going to scroll down and click select to the right of one of these listings. So if you want to do the same, if you don't have a listing to practice with, feel free, it won't mess up anything. You can go ahead and scroll down and click select to the right of any one of these listings you want to practice with. All right, so when you do that, let me get one that has more photos. All right, so for the listing here, so I can see that's been selected. I can always change the listing as needed. And I can make sure that the listing photo is selected that I want to display here. Try one more time, see if I can get more listing photos. Both of those only have one photo. They're just not popping up. So you have the option to either select from the listing here or add a custom photo. So you're selecting which listing photo would be right here. So once you click save and apply, that will update the listing photo for you right here. And also the listing information. Okay. So if that is a sold listing, you can pull in sold listings. So in this case, this is a sold one, so it'll show sold. All right, if it's an active listing, of course, that applies as well. And I can see that all of the details of this listing filled on in, and I can click save and apply. All right, so in general though, just a heads up, typically listings will have a bunch more photos, so you can select which listing you want to be the main photo. You know, if it's a picture of the pool in the backyard that you'd rather have, you can typically select all listings from the MLS right from here on which one to feature first at the top. Just a heads up. All right, so since I saved that one, I'm clicking on the next button on the top right. And that's taking me down to add in a video. If you didn't add a video widget, you can just watch on my screen if you'd like to see how to add in maybe a virtual tour of the home. Feel free. So at this point, we would have to have the video uploaded to a source like YouTube or another video platform to grab the URL from. In theory, you can upload the video from here, but it generally doesn't allow very long videos. So I would suggest uploading the video to somewhere like YouTube first. So let's say I'll just go there to show you guys real quick. All right, and let's say I want to grab the virtual tour, or maybe I want to grab like KW actually has a bunch of videos, like marketing videos that are really great. KW has a really great video marketing team. They always really pump you up. Like this one I have here is on the app, the new app. I'll send that out if anyone wants it. It's in the chat. However, if you want to add this to your landing page, for example, or any KW video, you can just search Keller Williams. I think I found this one by searching Keller Williams mobile app. All right, and once you find that, you can click share on the bottom right. So share on the bottom right of the video and click copy. And I'm going back to command. I have a YouTube tab open separately from command. I'm switching back to command. I'm in my video widget, okay? And where I want to paste that URL is where the video URL spot is, right from here. Okay, you can copy it, and I right-clicked to click paste, or Control-V on your keyboard. And let's say I want this one to be called, you know, the new KW mobile search app. You can either enter a description, you know, especially if this is about the home itself, you can go ahead and enter in a description of the video. Maybe that's the virtual tour, and click save and apply. And bada bing, we have that added in. All right, guys, we're on the home stretch here. So a couple more widgets to show you guys. So I have this neighborhood widget right here. So this is a great one to add to listing landing pages or sold pages so that they can explore the neighborhood itself as well. I believe this was called the market. Oh, here we go. New Market Snap is what this widget is called. So feel free if this looks like a cool widget you want to include, you can jot down. It's called the new market snap. If you don't change the header, it will keep the header name the same, but just change out the location. So what I would do here is I would change the postal code for where this neighborhood is for this specific listing. And I can search in the search box. It does not allow me to type in, so I think you have to scroll down, unfortunately. But you should see all the neighborhoods in that zip code that you entered in. So when you select that from the drop down and click save and apply, like I just did, you can see it, replaces the name of the neighborhood here and puts in all the sold and active stats here. And here is our lead capture form. So we can go ahead and click save and apply. Right, there's not too much we have to do with that last widget. You can change the top, like let's say if I want and said, want a private showing? Contact us. Okay, let's say I want to say that instead. Okay, so I can update that. All right, so now that I've created my listing landing page, let's take a look at what I can do to distribute that, best practices for marketing this landing page, and what this can be used for. Before we do that though, let's go ahead and change the landing page name on the very top left to, let's say, listing landing page. And just a tip, and I can go ahead and click save landing page on the right hand side real quick. But before we exit out of here, whoops, sorry. Before we exit out of here, I do want to show you guys a couple more things. If you are creating an open house sign-in sheet, first of all, we have a little 10-minute video on how to do that, and we can help you create an open house sign-in sheet. But the best workaround to creating an open house sign-in sheet that we have found with creating these landing pages, is adding a contact form to the top. So let me show you real quick. So store this part of your brain for the listing landing page and open a new tab in your brain let me just show you a quick tip on how you can convert a listing landing page into an open house sign-in sheet. So if you are running an open house this weekend, and let's say you usually have your iPad or your laptop open to get people to sign in, you can explain that as for security reasons so that, the owner knows who's coming through their home, but also, right, it captures you, the lead, right, to be real. So how we can convert this listing landing page to brand this as an open house landing page. What I generally do, or what we generally do over here, is we add the lead capture form to the top. So I add that to the top, and maybe I would configure the widget to instead say interested, let's talk, to sign in for the open house, like this. So I clicked on configure widgets. I'm going to the second widget, which is this one, right, that lead form. And I'm going to change this to sign in for the open house. Okay, so it's really easy. If you know how to create a listing landing page, creating an open house sign-in sheet is super easy. All we would recommend is adding the contact form at the top so that you can have this open on your iPad or whatever the case may be. Have them sign in real quick, and they can even scroll down to see further listing information. So you can go over with them, the listing information, and you can let them know that, since you received their contact information, you'll be able to send more property information as well. So that's just a quick tip on how you can convert, one of these landing pages into an open house sign-in sheet. So, but now for the rest of class, I would like to show you how to best market these landing pages to drive traffic to them. So we're on our landing page here. We can go ahead and click Publish Page on the top right. We can click Publish Page on the top right to make this actually go live right away. Oh, and I see a question in the chat. If your headshot is showing cut off, typically that's because your headshot is not a perfect square in the marketing profile. We're happy to crop that and get that re-added to your marketing profile for you, Heidi. If you would like to email support@scottleroymarketing.com, let us know your pictures cut off, send us a copy of your headshot and command login. We're happy to fix that for you. All right, so I am publishing the page on the top right, which is no longer grayed out, right? We have the option to publish the page because we configured all your widgets, right? If this is grayed out, if published page is grayed out, that's because you did not configure the widgets on the bottom right, okay? Just a heads up. Now, once you publish your page, that will take you back to the list of all of your landing pages on the consumer tab. So just in case I lost anyone, if you want to catch up, I am on the consumer tab on the very bottom left of the command menu. And your listing pages. And this will show you any drafts or active listing or active landing pages that you have. Sorry, I've been talking too much today. You can turn off and on the landing page right here. No, you don't have to click to publish it for today. You can just save it. But just a heads up, even if you publish it, if you don't distribute it, no one's going to really find it. Just a heads up. So you can always practice publishing it, and then you can turn it off here or whatever. You can just save it as well. That's totally fine for class, whatever you prefer. All right, so from here, right, we can always grab our landing pages really easily. So if we need to come back and grab them to, let's say, post them on your Facebook page, or whatever the case may be, you can do that right from here. Now, with that being said, this URL is crazy long and not easy to remember at all. The reason that's important, let's say I created this listing landing page for my yard sign. So flyers are a little outdated. I don't know about you, but if I go get a flyer out of the box, which I do, I'm intrigued about the listing information. I want that flyer. But what I don't want is that piece of paper. I do not want to then have a piece of paper that I'm going to fold up, put in the side of my door, and it's going to stay there for the next 3 months. Okay, what I instead want is to be able to drive past a yard sign, see that, okay, I can go to 123mainstreet.com and view all the data about this listing. Okay, that's what I want. And now let me show you how you can achieve that goal for your customers. So first of all, I just want to point out before we get going on this topic that you can change the URL from command by clicking the 3 dots on the far right. And then click to change URL. That's great and all, but it's not overly helpful because it only changes this part. So let's say, like, if I wanted to name this, 123 Main Street. Okay, that's better, but right, I still, if I'm driving past a yard sign, I will not be able to remember this and put that in my smartphone. So let's talk about purchasing a domain name for the point of pointing it at your landing pages. So if you're not familiar with a domain name, all that is a website address. So you can buy a website address, for example, 123mainstreet.com from a site like GoDaddy. If you've heard of GoDaddy and not quite sure what they do, they sell domain names, which is the same thing as saying they sell website addresses. So I'm putting a link in the chat for a 99 cents GoDaddy domain name for the first year. We have a special link for that. So if you want a domain name for 99 cents for the first year, you can click on the link in the chat and it'll bring you to a search. So you can search for the domain that you want to see if it's available, if anyone has it. After the first year, a domain is generally about $12 a year. So it's a pretty nominal investment. Domains are huge for branding. And if you're pointing your domain at a listing landing page, you probably won't go over a year listing the property anyway, fingers crossed. So that shouldn't be an issue. But if you guys want a domain, that is in the chat for 99 cents. Now, what that means, so what will happen if you choose to do this? Let's say you go to GoDaddy and you buy 123mainstreet.com. Okay, you purchase that for 99 cents for the first year. What you can then do is shoot us an email at support@scottleroymarketing.com and let us know that you would like the domain forwarded to your landing page, and we can do it for you. So you don't have to do that part. All you have to do, guys, is buy the domain name and we'll forward it to your landing page for you. If you need help on that, please just let us know. Shoot us an email, support@scottleroymarketing.com. So what that would do is it would make it so if anyone went to 1234mainstreet.com, it would take them directly to this listing landing page. So if you, let's say a lot of agents are getting riders to put on their sign, like the little top panel that's removable. If you get a rider on your sign that says, that 1234mainstreet.com, that domain name, you can put it on the top of your sign so when people driving by, they can easily see that and go to that website. So A, they can get all the listing details right from there, but B, they can also contact you right away from this contact form for a private showing. Okay? So it's a great way to drive traffic to your listing, to capture leads from your yard signs, and also to impress the heck out of your listing clients, right? Wow, this agent created a personalized website to distribute my listing, to really highlight my listing. And to even take it a step above that, you can add these landing pages onto social media platforms. Now, in this next example, I'm going to talk about, and guys, I'll try to wrap up class within the next 5 minutes here. But with the next example I'm talking about, you can add your landing page to, let's say, your Facebook page. I'll pull up my Facebook just so you guys can get an example of that. In this example, we wouldn't necessarily need to buy a domain name. So if you are just posting this on social media, you can come into your landing pages, right? I'm in the consumer section. We can grab this URL, right? So you can copy it from here, or you can open the landing page to grab it right from here. Right, so we're trying to copy the website address for this landing page. You can do that by opening it and copying it from the top. If you're not familiar with copying and pasting, you want to highlight the entire address, right-click to copy it. And then, for example, like this is just a practice business page I have. So for example, I could then come in here to my business page and I can go ahead and add in my listing landing page. Proudly presenting Main Street, check out the gleaming hardwoods, it's move-in ready, basically whatever you put in the MLS description is great to put here in a charismatic way. All right, but that's a great way that you can also promote your listings, right? You're promoting all the listing data and routing leads all to you. These landing pages are really great to use in Facebook ads as well. We would always recommend, if you are creating a Facebook ad to promote a listing, to create a listing landing page to route traffic after they complete the Facebook lead capture form. And if you have questions on that, I'll actually we have a recent Facebook ads video that I'll shoot out after class in just a second here. So stick around if you would like that. Right? But that is the best practices to distributing your landing page. For the question if we need separate domain names for each landing page, the question would be yes, in theory, if you want all of those to work at once. So only one domain can point to one website address at a time. Sorry, one domain can point to one landing page at a time. So if you want to have multiple live landing pages, you would need a separate domain name in theory for each one of them. But just a reminder that the domain name is not required, right? You have this long website address, it's just not very user-friendly and easy to remember if you're gonna market the actual website address. All right, guys. Last thing I'm going to talk about in today's class, and I'll let you go enjoy your Friday, is just how do listings get into your command account? Just so you feel comfortable with that and best practices with listings and how that works right now. So where I'm going is actually the next icon up is the listings icon. It looks like a yard sign. So listings on the left-hand side. Now, when you do that, it'll pull up only your listings first under my KWLS. A couple things about that. First of all, if you are not seeing your listings show up here, there's nothing necessarily wrong with your account. KW is just working on grouping all agents' listings under like a My Listings tab. Right now, listings are coming over to Command in general. They're just having a hard time grouping under My Listings. So again, it's nothing wrong with your account. It's just they're working on that part still. So instead of searching listings under My KWLS, we actually want to search under the listing search. You know what? I think my browser doesn't know my location right now. Switch. All right, so again, instead of My KWLS, if you could go ahead and change that over to listing search, and this will pop up this concept I'm talking about will pop up when you're creating things like Facebook ads for listings. It will also, pull listings from the KWLS 2.0, and it will show your listings first. But if you don't see anything there, right, make sure you're switching over. Sorry, I think it's my browser. I blocked the location accidentally, and so it's not letting me see the listings. So from that listing section there, so let's talk about the question of how did those listings get in there? So before Command launched, KW went into an agreement with all MLS boards across the entire US and parts of Canada that made listings automatically pull over. Here we go. This is what I was talking about. So I blocked my location accidentally on Chrome, so listings weren't displaying. It's fine on Firefox. So listings come here directly from your MLS. There's nothing you have to do. There is no longer an IDX feed that needs to be set up or signed. That will automatically happen for you. They say that once your listing goes live in the MLS, it will pull over to the KWLS 2.0, this is called, within, they say overnight. I would give it 24 hours. But overnight, their goal is to get it to pull over every 16 minutes. So it's becoming more immediate with the most updated information. With all these listings in here, the listings in here will feed to everything in Command. That is your landing pages, smart plans, your mobile app, your KW Command website, etc. So you do not have to do anything to get your listings, or all listings across the country for that matter, into Command. They will automatically be there within about 24 hours of going live in the MLS, if not sooner, which is awesome. So there's no IDX feed, nothing you have to do. But let's talk about the case if your listing doesn't pull over, what we can do about that. Because it happens from time to time, but it's honestly not too common, which is great. Listings are consistently pulling over beautifully. However, if you do not see your listing pull over within 24 hours, you need to shoot that off to KW support. So KW International is the only one that can push the listing over. To do that, they need 4 things that I'm going to include in the chat, which is your MLS number for the property, the address, agent MLS ID, and the MLS board you're with. And I put that in the chat, guys. And you can send that to support@kw.com or by clicking the question mark on the top right of Command. Chat with support. Okay, that's in the chat, Zoom chat, but what I'm talking about is on the top right of Command. There's a question mark here. So I can click the chat with support option, and it's a live chat, but you'll also have the option to leave a message, which I really like to do because they'll email you right back. And you can let them know your listing is not displaying, and they'll be able to push that over for you, no problem. All right, guys, so that is how your listings come in here. If you have any questions on how all this works, landing pages and so forth, please do not hesitate to reach out to us, support@scottleroymarketing.com. If you have a question about today's class specifically, you can put attention my name, which is Leah. I'm putting that in the chat as well. I'm going to try to go back through and answer some of these questions as I wrap up, but if I did not get to your question during class, please feel free to email me and I'd be more than happy to help you with it and take a look at your account specifically. So if you're watching live, feel free to stick around and I'll answer some questions. If you're watching this recorded, I hope this helped and I hope you have a great rest of your day. All right. Let me show you real quick. I have the recording back on. I'm going to show you real quick where leads will come from these landing pages. Obviously really important. Sorry, Friday brain. All right, so you'll see right here in this column that we have leads. All right, those show 0 for me right now. But if leads are captured from these landing pages, you'll see the number of leads each one captures. Now, how you can view those those leads and how you're notified of those leads. Okay, first of all, you're notified by the bell icon on the top right of Command, by the Kelly app on your phone. Make sure you have the Kelly app on your phone. And they're working on email notifications. So they're saying email notifications of leads are working, okay? However, we've seen it intermittently work. Feel free to check it out, but that's the idea. I would say, by the end of the year, that should be working consistently, if not. But I would try to stay on top of all 3 in the meantime, and you can always double check. Let me show you how to double check to make sure that you've stayed on top of all leads to pull them all up at once. Okay, so if you can follow me to your contact database real quick, So contact icon on the top left of command. Let's click on filters. So again, contacts on the left side of command, filters. Leads only, apply. So real quick, if you want to jot that down, 4 quick steps to filter by leads only to make sure you're staying on top of that. Step 1, contact section of command. Step 2, filters button. Step 3, leads only. And step 4, apply. Okay. That'll pull up any leads that you have captured from the landing pages, the mobile app, your Command IDX website, everywhere. Okay, so again, you get notifications from the bell icon, from the Kelly app and on your phone, right? Make sure you have that, and email notifications in theory. But I would always recommend just keeping an eye on this as much as possible. You can also make sure that you have, just one more quick tip and I'll let you go. You can also make sure that you have the lead widget on the top of your dashboard. So not to give you a bunch of last minute info to wrap up your day, but if you click on home on the top left, there is a recent leads widget here. So if you want to move that up, like you might have to scroll down. I'm not even sure if it shows off default. I think so. But I want to make sure that you guys see that on the very top of your home page. So if you need to update that, you can always click on Customize Home on the top right. I'm just on the little home icon on the left side. Customize Home. And then you can make sure that your leads widget is selected. And you can even make sure it's at the very top. So you can see how we can drag these around. We can select and deselect this to customize our homepage and make sure leads are at the very top. And click apply, just to make sure that you guys are never missing a lead. All right, guys. I hope that helped. Please let me know if you have any questions at all, and we would be more than happy to walk you through that. All right, guys. I hope you have a great rest of your day.